Guys, what's going on? Today I am going to review MK Assistant, which is this guy right here. It popped up on my Facebook feed over and over again, so thought I'd give it a shot. It's really low cost, which is what attracted me to it. Just because like my other service that I really like is Infinity Algo. I'll leave a link for the full review to Infinity Algo in the description below, as well as a link to actually go and buy it, because this one actually I've tested for quite a long time now, probably 6 months to a year, and I really enjoy it. And it's only $99 for a whole lifetime access. So it's definitely one of my favorite algo out there. So I wondered, hey, maybe one of these other low cost algos would be just as good, or let's see what they're like. And this one that I'm reviewing today, so make sure you check out the Infinity Algo review. One of the best algos out there for sure. But one of the reasons that I bought this, like I said, is when I clicked on this ad, I found that this thing only costs $69 for lifetime, which is even cheaper than Infinity Algo. So I was like, okay, $69 for lifetime. I mean, sometimes, things can be too good to be true. $69 for lifetime on TradingView for this service, I thought would be a bargain, right? So this is the one I got right here. MK Plus Stream View. And I'll link you in the description below if you want to go and buy it. Although I'm not sure how much you will after you listen to my review. So basically, it's the MK Plus Trading View, $69. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's $69 a month. But when I clicked on it, it was actually right here, and you can see it is basically lifetime access right here with no additional fees. And so that sealed the deal for me because I'm like, okay, maybe this is another Infinity Algo. Maybe this will be just as good or even better. Looking at the picture on the left here, of course, they show something that looks really good, a big short, and then it triggers all the way down, and it looks really fantastic. And I don't blame them. They're going to show the best features. They're not going to show like failing signals on their website, right? So anyway, I jumped in and I bought this. I wish I'd done a little bit more research because I'll show you the actual system in just a little bit here, but this is the MK Assistant Trustpilot website. And so I went through that, and I'll show you this a little bit here. And they have a very odd distribution. 70% say 5 stars, and then 25% say 1 star. So big distribution usually means something's wrong somewhere, right? And often there'll be fake reviews that bring it up to 5 star. So reading the reviews, like a lot of them do seem kind of fake. Um, show you what I mean. Like maybe not that one, but maybe like this team is experienced and take time to understand and document the needs of the customers. If you've been a member of any of these algo services, you'll know that that's never the case, and it's not the case with these guys either. There's no real support. There's not even like a Discord or anything at all. Um, it's definitely like not efficient and effective and user friendly. I highly recommend. This may not be a fake 5 star review, but it might be. And so it's definitely polarizing. A lot of people saying it's amazing, but then some people saying it's like really bad. So I don't know. So here's my impression of it from using it, and also a little bit more information on what it involves. So if we go over to the indicator, which is loaded up on my chart right here, this is the MK Assistant. MK Assistant. And you can see this is on SPY 1 minute. It actually is doing a fairly good job, right? Like if you see here, it's like a long, then it goes up, short, then it goes down. Long goes up a little bit and then turns to short and goes down quite a bit. Long works, short kind of works, long works, short kind of doesn't work here, and then the long works. Let's scroll along a little bit. So we go this way first. You can see the short did work here. So in general, on this particular setting, this doesn't seem that bad. And this is the 1 minute chart, but these trades are quite long. So they might start at 12:28 and finish 2 hours later. So even though it's a 1 minute chart, the settings I had to use to make this work, and I'll show you that in a second, mean that the trades are not like 5 minute trades, or like 2 hour trades. So you've got to bear that in mind with this. And honestly, I had to do quite a lot of fudging to get it to look like this. And of course now it's signaling along and it looks like we are starting to go up here a little bit. So if you look at this, you think, okay, this is pretty good. Except when you realize like this is direction only. There's no take profits on the way down, for example, and there's no stop loss shown. So you have to kind of come up with your own trading rules based around this by looking at the signals, say, and saying, okay, it usually goes up this much, so I'll have my, a profit target here. And when it fails, it usually goes down, this much or whatever, and try and figure out like what your rules for trading this is going to be. Because this is a very simplistic service. It really isn't, it really doesn't have any bells and whistles to it, which is really good in some ways, but also really bad in others because you can't adjust it very easily. So I fiddled with this until I got it to look good. Like you can see, here's along here. This went all the way up. But one thing I am noticing is there is a lot of fake out signals, even once I've optimized it the best I absolutely can. I'll show you a couple of settings you can change in just a minute. But this is a complete mess. So sometimes you'll see indicators that look like this, and it's usually a really, really bad sign. Um, they can't handle the chop at all, and this is one of them. And I think that's my biggest criticism of this is even when you optimize it using the very minimal variables that you have, you're still going to have periods where this really struggles and fakes you out a lot. But overall, you can actually see it works pretty well. I mean, here's another one, another one. There's no back testing, so this is the best I can do is to show you the signals, right? I can't show you any back testing on this. There is no back testing. You just have to be aware that like you could get chopped up quite a bit. And I haven't been able to get rid of these by changing the settings at all. You can see a lot of chop. So you have a mixture of half the time the signals are really, really good and accurate, and then half the time you'd be chopping in and out, chopping in and out. Now bear in mind this isn't the end of the world because one of the rules they talk about in their little booklet here that they give you. So they give you this booklet about how to use this MK plus indicator. One of the things they talk about is how to do a little bit of the management. So you'd be entering and exiting these positions, and so you'd probably be about flat, like so. It's not like you're losing a ton of money with these. It would just annoy you a lot because you're basically getting faked out and taking multiple trades and not really making any money. And then by the time you're done with this, and then the proper short comes in, all the way down here. This is overnight by the looks of it. Yeah. And so overnight, this short would have worked really well, but by then you've been put off the indicator. So my initial impression on the 1 minute chart isn't actually too bad. Like it's pretty good, but I had to do quite a bit of fiddling to get it to look as good as it does right now. Anyway, inside their like little booklet, which a general comment on this is you'll see it looks pretty amateurish and messy, and it's kind of a bad sign. So you see how like it just goes, it is an indicator, and then there's a big space which is made up of those powerful trading strategies. So it kind of tells you what it does a little bit. Biggest struggle solve, save our time. MK Plus was created in the first place. Capital I figures out the candlestick. So there's definitely a cheap feel to the just the documentation they give you now. Can you really expect much for $69 for lifetime? Maybe not. Maybe this is like, you're not going to get a full suite like Lux Algo or Algo Pro or even Infinity Algo. Well, look, their font just changes immediately to this weird font. Then you talk about the ATR, which is one of the things you can change. The ATR period. Long signals, obviously, it's very easy. So they're basically saying keeping the risk reward 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 for take profit level 2 can be good money management. So they talk about that a little bit. And then they show you what like they mean basically. There's a long signal and they do a short signal. So this is all you get, how to load up your stuff. This is all you get in terms of like support. So this is delivered when you buy it, and then you get the actual indicator itself. When you click on the indicator, it really has like basically you can turn off the settings. You can show colored uh, candles, which is what I have on right now. So this is what it would normally look like if you didn't have the colored candles on. I like the colored candles on it. It shows the longs are green, reds are shorts. So the things you can change are the ATR factor right here, which is what I did in order to optimize this particular plot. And so the idea with any of these algos is you optimize it for the backtested period as best you can, and then you hope that going forward the market doesn't completely change and you don't have to change your settings too much, and you've got a system that gives you the direction, at least in the short term, fairly well. So this is the ATR factor 5. Let's zoom in on a couple of signals. Like let's do like here. So if we change the ATR, like let's change it to like 4. You can see it makes it completely different, right? Like it's quite a different system now. It's not too much worse, really. I mean, actually, it looks not too bad. Keep going down here. I've got 3, but three's getting quite bad. You're getting more trades, right? But you're getting shorter profit taking. Still not too bad, so this is a good one. So maybe my initial assessment of this indicator was a little bit harsh. Maybe it's actually not too bad. Like it's pretty good if you can trade your own, like if you're happy taking your own profits, targets, and stop losses. If we go the other way with the ATR factor, you get less trades, so go to like 8, but you get accurate trades, long trades as well. So you can mess around with that and spy on 1 minute. Now, the weird thing I found, and maybe it's just I haven't spent enough time with this yet, is normally as you go to longer time frames, things get a little bit better. I've actually found they got a bit worse with this algo. I mean, this one's looking all right on this particular ATR that I set right now of 8. So you can kind of see, like, it's kind of working. I mean, the shorts are working, a little bit of fighting going on here, but this short was pretty amazing. This long's been pretty amazing. So is this today, this morning? No, that was ages ago. This is on a long time frame, so you're not getting very many trades at all here. This is monthly along the bottom here. So these are long swing trades. So it's pretty interesting to know. If we turn this down a little bit, let's see, let's go back to like 5, see what it looks like. So this is 5, you're getting a few more trades. Some of them are working, not too bad, right? Not too bad. So maybe I'm giving this like maybe it's a little bit hasty to give MK Plus or Mkassistant is called, kind of like wasn't thinking it was that good, so I was gonna give it kind of a bad review, but like looking at it fresh this morning, changing the settings a little bit shows that it's working okay. Let's go to crypto because it works on all of these things. It's just sometimes people want to look at crypto, so let's just look at like Bitcoin. This is looking all right without changing any settings. Fake out here, nice one here, fake out here, nice one here. Small win, fake out, nice win, fake out, kind of a win, kind of a win. This is on the 1 hour chart, so you're talking about swing trading here. And that's without touching any of the settings. So, maybe overall this isn't as bad as I thought, especially for lifetime. Um, Kind of growing on me a little bit. Maybe it just was on the wrong settings yesterday, but anyway, that's about all there is to it. It's a very simple system. The things that I like about it is it is simple and it's very low cost, which is nice. They do include support and resistance stuff as well. I haven't found that particularly useful yet, but they do include that. And you can set alerts to tell you when there's a long, there's a short. So if you are looking for a really low cost, like the lowest cost I've ever found, lifetime service, that's just simple basic alerts that you can work around, this might be something you want to try. So give it a shot. I'll leave a link to buy it for the $69 in the description below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.